Hey everybody, this is Bradley Benner with Hump Day Hangouts today, which is January 14th, 2015. I've got Adam Moody on with me again for additional support, so we'll say what's up, Adam.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
And we've got some questions already, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time in introductions. I just kind of jump right in. We're going to keep this one short today. Last week went very long, and I've got another webinar to do immediately following this one, so I'm going to try to keep this kind of quick. However, I want to make sure there's just some housekeeping. On the events page, you can actually post your questions there directly on the page. I'm going to answer questions that are already there, but if you post your questions on the page there, I will answer them, and if I share any links or anything like that, I'm going to share them on that page. That way everybody can access them as well. There's also a Q&A button on the actual video player on the event page. If you submit your questions there, we'll get them as long as I'm checking the Q&A box. So Adam, like I said, if you see something come up that I need to address that I'm not seeing, let me know, please.
Can do.
And we'll see there are no questions in at the moment there. So all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take the screen so that you guys. Well, I don't need to do that just yet. Here comes a few more people joining in. All right, so I'm going to jump down to the bottom of the event page and start down there and answer. We have a few questions, not many, but I want to come up. Chef Constantine, which is his real name's Alex. Alex, what's up? He's been following us for several weeks now. He says, Bradley, are you guys going to go over tiered networks and how to set them up right? Yes, and I answered that in text, but I'll answer that for the benefit of everybody on this Hangout as well. Yeah, as far as setting up tiered networks for IFTTT, yes, I'm going to be covering that in the advanced strategy webinar that I'm going to hold for all purchasers, which will be in just a few weeks. 2 or 3 weeks from now, we're actually 8 days behind schedule of officially launching because we've been having issues with JVZoo. We're not product developers, we're business owners, and this is our first attempt at launching a product, and so there's just a big learning curve to get integrated with JVZoo and get everything set up properly. Which, by the way, I do want to mention that the IFTTT training course, the members area, I completely switched platforms for that. Everybody that purchased it already still has access, but we're going to be moving you over to the new platform, which I think you guys are going to like. It's actually a bit more, I think, user-friendly, and there's a really cool question function that's built right into it that will integrate with a Facebook group, and I set up a Facebook group for IFTTT SEO Academy, which will give us kind of a discussion forum specific to that training. And I'm not a Facebook guy, but this integrates very well with the membership platform, so we're gonna, I'm gonna be switching everybody that's already purchased over, and then when we launch officially, then all new people will go directly into there. And if we have time today, I may show you guys the inside of the members area for that. In one moment, I've got one of our partners looking to get into the Hangout, so let me send him the link. Okay. So anyways, yeah, I might end up showing that as well if we have time to do that today. So let me get through some of these questions. So yeah, Alex, by the way, I'm certainly going to go over that during the webinar, but I don't want to reveal that like on a Hump Day Hangout, especially because that's not, that's for you guys that have purchased and only you. So he also says that he's curious if anybody's having issues with Curator, Flavors.me, and Dippity, which are part of the live stream sites, which are one of the bonuses, the Live Stream Academy. I haven't had any trouble with them, so I'm not sure what the problem is, Alex. I mean, that happens, and that's what I mentioned in one of the videos in the main training, is that when you're dealing with that many different web properties, there's going to be times that things don't work properly, and I'm not sure. Let's see. I don't know what to tell you. It's working for us. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, when you're dealing with that many sites, all sites have issues at times, and that's part of the reason why we use as many as we do. And I always say that we should use more networks, because if any one or two properties go down or are having issues, you have other sites that you're still syndicating your content to, so it's not going to make a difference. Don't focus all your energy on trying to get one network to work 100% of the time for every post that you do. That's ridiculous. Instead, focus that energy that you would have taken and trying to get everything to work up perfectly on just building more networks, because invariably things are going to break down or not work properly, and it might not be IFTTT, it might not be your site, it might be the Web 2s themselves, it could be any number of things. There's a lot of variables there that you have to consider. And so if you try to spend all your time trying to get one network to work 100% of the time, you're going to be missing a lot of opportunity and energy that you could have spent building more networks, and then it doesn't matter. It's like the eggs in the basket. Don't put all your eggs in that one basket. Instead, just build more baskets and spread your eggs out. If that makes sense. But that's typically what I do. I don't have the time to go through every network and make sure that every property is working all the time. Instead, if I got 15 networks connected to one YouTube channel, then what difference does it make if a couple properties aren't working properly? And a lot of the times it's just a bug within that particular platform that gets fixed on its own anyway. So worrying about it isn't going to help. And that's just my advice to you guys, because I know a lot of us are perfectionists and we want to make sure that everything works 100% all the time. But you'll find that when you start to manage multiple networks, that it's not worth your effort or your energy. It's more important to build more networks and then you're syndicating them more anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. So if there's specific support issues that you're having with sites, then I would suggest contacting those the support desks or support departments of those sites and find out what the problem is, and also IFTTT, if that's a problem. If you see that repeated problem over and over again, over a period of a week or 2 weeks or something like that, then it would be worth contacting support. However, that said, I did want to tell you guys that there are times where I will see, or we will all see, specific problems, and we need to figure out what a workaround is. And if I am aware of it and I figure out a workaround, I will certainly update you guys as to what the workaround is. And if it's something that looks like needs a permanent fix, then I'll record a video for it and add that to the members area. Okay. And again, I might, guys, I don't manage and monitor all my networks. I don't, I've got outsourcers that do that stuff for me now. So I might not be aware of issues that you guys that are, got your sleeves rolled up and you're building these networks and working in them and monitoring. If you guys are aware, or you guys might find out about a problem before I do. And so please, by all means, let us know, just like Alex did here. And if I now that it's been on my radar, if I see problems, then I'll try to figure out what a workaround would be and get back with you. Hope that makes sense. So let me check the questions. Ken Roberts, let's see. What is going to be the cost of the video training for the outsourcers? Ken, that's a great question. The funnel, when we go official with it, hopefully tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow. It'll be, we're going to have, I'll tell you the whole funnel right now. The IFTTT training product is up front. That's the $47 for now. It'll raise to $67 after so many sales, and then $97 eventually. But then the first upsell is the Mastermind plus the outsourcer training. That's going to be $147 a month. Then the first down sale is going to be Mastermind access only without the outsourcer training portal. That's $97 a month. And then the second downsell is outsourcer training only, where you don't have access to the Mastermind, and that's $67 a month. And there's actually going to be several different. When you first join the first product, for the outsourcer training, the first thing that you get are the Trello boards and access to the video training portal for your outsourcers for the IFTTT network builds. 30 days later, you get the outsourcer training portal and the Trello boards for the live stream sites. And 30 days later, you get the advanced RSS. 30 days later, you get the tiered networks. We do that on purpose. And the reason why is that if you want, first of all, you need to hire virtual assistants and get them trained. And it's going to take them a little bit of time to get used to building these networks. Once they do, they're going to become incredibly efficient for you. Like I said before, I've got full-time outsourcers, virtual assistants. They're on salary that's all they do is build networks for me, and they can build 2 networks in a day. 2 basic networks. Okay, when you add in the live stream sites, it may be 3 networks in 2 days, if that makes sense. If you're adding in the live stream sites too, and then I have another outsourcer that I send the networks over to, and they do the advanced RSS stuff. Okay, and then the tiered networks, basically, and this is a little hint for you guys, the tiered networks is nothing other than building single networks, but it's just putting them together. That's all tiered networks are. It's just building single networks, single IFTTT networks, but then putting the pieces together properly. That's the only difference. So I don't look at building a whole tiered network out as a project. I look at them as always individual IFTTT network projects. And so my outsourcers, like I said, my build assistants, they are the ones that all they do is build the networks and in the live stream sites. So they can do about 3 networks in 2 days each. And then I've got another outsourcer that does the advanced RSS stuff. So the reason why we're going to drip out the content that way is because there's no reason why you guys would need all of the Trello boards and all of the training all at once. It would be ridiculous. You wouldn't be able to absorb it, nor would your outsourcers, and you would overwhelm your outsourcers. The best thing for them to do is to get good at building the basic networks first. Once they're proficient with that, then they would move on to doing the live stream sites. Then from there, they'll do the advanced RSS, which again, I would suggest having another VA, even if it's part-time, you know, like somebody from Odesk on hourly that does the advanced RSS stuff separately. I don't recommend you guys doing that because it's time consuming. It's stuff that you can pay people, you know, $3 an hour to do, and they'll do it a lot better than you will because that's all they do, you know. So we'll be dripping the content out that way, but you know, it's a lot of work, but it'll for us, but it'll save you guys a ton of effort. Now you'll still be responsible for hiring your own virtual assistants. And once we officially launch, I'm going to be holding a webinar for our Mastermind members and the Outsourcer Training Portal members to talk about how to hire and systemize the hiring process, which will make it a heck of a lot easier. Because I've hired a lot of virtual assistants, and you know that in itself can be an all-day job, a full-time job, is just finding, screening outsourcers, interviewing, and then selecting them, and then hiring them, and then if they don't perform for you like they're supposed to, then you got to fire them and do it all over. And so I've got ways that I've set up that kind of automates a lot of that and takes a lot of that, makes it a heck of a lot easier and more streamlined. Okay, and I'll be going through that in a webinar after our launch. So that's full disclosure. That's what the funnel is, guys. I hope that was helpful. All right, let me check. I'm going to answer Andrea's questions first, and then I'll move back over to the question bar. Andrea Chin says, questions for the Hump Day Hangout. Do you build your IFTTT networks manually, or do you outsource, use software, etc.? Well, I just kind of answered that. I outsource it. The problem with building with software is that the accounts typically don't last as long. They get terminated for the most part. And even if you do build the accounts with tools, then you still need to go back in and manually, or you or somebody, an outsourcer, needs to go in and manually interlink them if they're going to conform to our training, what we teach, and which makes the whole networks incredibly so much more powerful, okay? Because interlinking them all together gives it a strong persona or brand if you're building a branded network for, you know, a local business or for a website that, you know, a brand. Either way, tying them together is going to make them so much stronger and give them so much more power and more longevity. They tend to stick a lot longer. Don't get me wrong, even properly interlinked strong persona accounts from time to time are going to get shut down. They're Web 2s, that's just the nature of the game. But ours stick a hell of a lot longer than the ones do that tools build. So I've tried every tool under the sun that builds accounts, account creators. I've tried Fiverr providers to have accounts created. None of them stick like they do when you have when either you or you have an outsourcer builds them the way that we teach step by step in the training. They stick a heck of a lot longer, okay? So so definitely outsource that. I don't recommend anybody here build more than 1 or 2 or 3 maybe tops networks on their own. If you can monetize your networks very quickly, which I talk about that in the follow-up series when you downloaded the PDF or opted in to get the PDF, and in the strategy webinar that we're going to have for buyers of the course, I'm going to talk about that some more too, okay? But if you monetize your networks very quickly, then what I suggest is that you take the first bit of revenue that you make from those networks and reinvest it into hiring outsourcers and then continue to build the networks. Let your VAs do that, all right? Reinvest your money. Even if, if you can, reinvest every penny that you make right up front into building a team to do this for you very quickly, because then you're going to see your income scale very quickly, okay? I don't suggest doing it yourself if you can outsource it. So when building blog networks, not PBNs, I don't understand that exactly. I've looked at that question a couple times, Andrea. If you're on, I would sure like some clarification on that. When building blog networks, not PBNs, And here, I'll take this. You guys are still looking at me. Let me take the screen so that you don't have to look at me. And you can see the question. This is Andrea's question here. When you build blog networks, not PBNs, do you hide behind a VPS, keep domains private, register under another name, etc.? Yeah, I do, but again, like I outsource that, and so all of my assistants are that are build sites for me are in the Philippines, and they all are using U.S. proxies anyways, and so when it comes to registration of the domains, I typically don't care about using different names and stuff. I just put them behind private registration. I know other people say they'll go out and they'll put fake names in and fake addresses and phone numbers and all that, but I don't use PBNs like the traditional way that a lot of SEOs teach, because I really don't need to with all the IFTTT and Web 2 stuff that we do. Like, I'll use them for video syndication sites, but typically for the sites that we create for, like, for backlinking to client sites and things like that, we still build each PBN with an IFTTT network. Everything I do has an IFTTT network. So I've told you guys 100 times, this is the foundation of my business. And so even our PBNs have networks, and they have a persona, and they have a strong brand, and everything is themed, okay? And so when I don't really care so much about using fake names for the registration as I do just making sure that they're private registration. And then I make sure that I put them on different hosts, of course. Okay, and as far as hosting goes, that could be a whole nother webinar in itself, but I typically use a couple different hosts that don't just get C-class hosting anymore. It's not good enough. C-class hosting is very easily traceable to figure out, it's very easily detectable that you're building a blog network if you're just using C-class hosting. You got to go with A or B class. And you've also got to be real careful about using, your name servers, and also what's called SOA records. That's something that you need to check. By the way, I'll share this as a little tidbit with you guys. I'll post this in chat. But leafdns.com, if you go to leafdns.com, I'll show the site right here. If any of you are building blog networks, I challenge you to take 5 or 6 of your domains and paste them into new test here and hit go, and see what it shows you on leafdns.com. And I bet you more than 50% of you guys here that are building blog networks are leaving a very easily detectable footprint behind. Now, just so you know, check LeafDNS and see if you can locate a footprint, a pattern that can be recognized. If so, you need to cover your tracks better, because otherwise you're opening yourself up to get hammered by Google. And I'm going to paste this in chat right here. And again, that's more advanced stuff that we talk about inside, like the Mastermind, because it would be way too long for something like this in this particular format for us to go over. So YouTube best practices in crowdsearch.me said, note, longer videos tend to rank much easier on YouTube. It is very difficult to rank videos that are under 3 minutes in length. Would you care to comment on this? Yeah, sure. Depends. Yeah, of course, longer videos do rank better. That's absolutely true. But I have no problem ranking 60-second videos, especially for local stuff. Most clients that I do local SEOs for, video SEO for, the videos are about 60 seconds in length, give or take 15 seconds. And I have absolutely no problem ranking those. But yes, longer videos will rank better. But nobody wants to watch an animated explainer video for a plumber for 3 minutes, I can tell you that. So, your call to action is the most important thing there, and I have no problem ranking local videos. For more competitive, like national terms and stuff, that may be absolutely true. And in fact, I know that longer videos do rank better. One way to get longer videos would be to set up a Hangout on air and interview a business owner, for example. And then, because usually a conversation will go over 3 minutes. Guys, I've done that a ton of times for clients because it's quick and it's easy, right? I just tell somebody how to get set up on Google+, and I send them an invitation just like I did you guys today. We do a Hangout on air. I ask them 5 questions. It's always 5 questions. And I let them talk. And what's funny about it is business owners, when you give them the chance, they'll take a 5-minute or a 5-question interview that should take no more than 3 to 5 minutes. And I always tell them that up front. We want this to be 3 to 5 minutes, no longer than 5 minutes, because nobody's going to watch more than 5 minutes of you talking about your business, except for you. But invariably, 9 times out of 10, they end up talking for 10 to 12 minutes because they're talking about their favorite subject, which is them and their business, right? Just keep that in mind. But that's a great way to get longer videos, and they rank very, very easy too. All right. If I understand correctly, to create a Google Plus page, all you need is a personal page. Yeah, it's like Facebook in that you need a profile to house all of your pages, right? So you're like the owner of the pages. So yeah, you can create pages under your personal profile, and I recommend doing that. And then you ask, if I created a business page for a family member through my account, can it be transferred to her account anytime in the future? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. In fact, let me here, I'll show you where to do that if you'd like. Let me open up. Just go to Plus. You guys are seeing my screen, correct? Adam?
Looking good.
All right, so if we come over here and we go to Pages, then here is, let's see, this is one that I always use as examples, as an example page for these type of webinars. So this is just a business page here. What you want to do is, once you're on the page, just click over to the My Business and go down to Settings. And right up here you can see Managers. Come on. Once you see Managers, you can add managers. Okay, and then once you've added a manager, you can end up changing the manager. You see because I've got another Google account that I had opened for this, just so I could get this was a site that I was going to build that I never did. electricalseo.net was the URL. So I built this page for that site, and I never ended up doing anything with it. But because I wanted electricalseo@gmail.com, I created that account. So here's the original account, right? I set this page up underneath this Google account, and then I transferred ownership to me, which is my personal account. And I could have done it either way. I could have set it up under this account and then transferred ownership to that. The way you do it is, once you set a manager, the manager will agree to become a manager. So they'll get a notification. They got to click a link and say, yes, I agree to be a manager. And once they're a manager, you as the owner can click on their name and transfer ownership too. You see that? So that's how you can do it. And that's typically how I suggest doing it, guys. Setting it up under your account, because it makes it much easier to keep track. Question on the Q&A page. Okay, let me jump onto that real quick. See, John T says, "Hi Bradley, thank you for your training. I'm totally new to all this, and I have seen this in T1 Port Premium. Is there an easy dummies way of actually starting out? Because at present I don't have any sites, and I will be starting from ground zero." That's a great question, John T. Yeah, I know, and I've seen your posts inside the P1 Port Premium and how it's a bit overwhelming, and I totally agree. Peter Garrity's got great stuff, but he's got so much of it, and there's so many different ways to start. You don't really know where to start, and it can be very overwhelming. So I completely understand. You know what, John D, hit me up privately after the webinar. I'll get to you a little bit later on this evening or tomorrow, and you and I can start a chat where I can kind of give you some guidance on all of that if you'd like. That's fine. I got no problem doing that. Just hit me up privately. It's going to be a little bit more than we have time for today, so I can't get into that right now, but I'll talk with you privately, and then maybe following next week we can get into that a little bit more. Let's see. If I'm looking into creating a Google Business local listing, or I am looking into creating a Google Business local listing for a startup chocolatier business, they make specialty chocolates, custom cakes, edible party favors, etc. The business is registered under one address, which is the home, licensed under another, commercial kitchen location, and the retail space is yet another space in a store. Which address would you use? The retail space, right? Because I mean, there's no sense in setting up a Google Plus business page for the home address if that's just like the administrative office, or the commercial kitchen location if they're not actually it's not a point of sale. So I would absolutely do it for the retail space. But you said it's in another space, a space in a store. That's okay. You can note that when you set up the business page in Google Plus or google.com/my business is where you want to go to set that up. And you can note that in there, and in fact you can usually get like a unique address. So so for example, if it's 123 Main Street and you're located within that, you could set it up as like 123B Main Street, if that makes sense, and just make sure that that's okay with the postmaster, so that you can receive mail there with that unique address. I hope that makes sense. Let's see, no other questions there. Okay, let's see. John Padmore, he says, "Have you got any tips on differentiating similar content for differing locations for localized SEO, e.g. plumbing, or example, plumbing repairs in Gainesville, plumbing repairs Fredericksburg, plumbing repairs Charlottesville. So he's in my neck of the woods. He's in Virginia. John, hey John. Yeah, what I do, and I've talked about this before, but what I like to do is, number one, we talked about it just a minute ago, was interviewing business owners is a great way to get unique content for pages. You can, if you can get them on a Hangout on air. Now, I know a lot of plumbers aren't going to be interested in doing Hangout on air. That's true. But there's another thing that you can do that I've done many times now that's worked incredibly well. Once again, it uses video. But if you're dealing with a plumbing company, for example, a lot of times they're going to have, several plumbers on staff, right? Or even if it's just a one-man show that, has his own van, he's a, plumbing contractor and he's a one-man, solo act. If you can get them to take their smartphone and take video from on location on whatever jobs that they get called out on and just do a very quick, brief video, it can be 45 to 60 seconds long. Having them say, once they've completed a job, just say, hey, this is, they don't even have to have the camera facing them. Like, they could have it facing the work that they just completed and record a video using their Android or their iPhone or whatever, saying, hey, this is Joe the plumber. I'm on location in Fredericksburg. I had a call this morning for a leaky faucet. I came out, found that this was the problem. This is what I did to fix it. Now the faucet isn't leaking. The customer's happy. If you have any questions or any plumbing issues, please call us at phone number and give the web address or whatever, just a call to action, right? Now that video right there is unique content that you can add to the page. And what I do is take it to get it transcribed. If you go to speechpad.com, as a matter of fact, let me pull that up. Speechpad.com right here. Speechpad.com, I'll put this on the event page. If you go to speechpad.com, you can get these videos transcribed for $1 per minute. So if you've got a 45, if it's 1 minute and 1 second, they're going to charge you $2. But if it's 59 seconds, it's going to be $1. And you can send it to them to have it transcribed. They usually have it back to you in just a couple days. And now all you do is you upload that video to YouTube, and then you embed the YouTube video on the page on the website, and then you put the transcription underneath of it. You'll have to do a little bit of styling, like spacing and things like that. But that's all you need to do. Period. And then just that's it. And that's unique content, and it's user-generated content. Hey, think about that, guys. And it works great, because one of our problems as SEOs is trying to come up with unique content when you're pretty much saying the same thing over and over again, just like the question asks here, where he says, how do I get unique content for plumbing repairs Gainesville, plumbing repairs Fredericksburg? Well, that's how. That's how. You just have the client generate the content for you, right? So now that's done half your job for you. And then the other thing is, now you got the power of YouTube. So think about it. You set up a channel. I suggest it be your own channel, right, that you add those videos to, because that way if the client stops paying you, you can pull those videos, right? I mean, if you wanted to, that's up to you. That's however you want to do it. But let's say that you set up a channel for the client, okay? Now you've got content for their YouTube channel that they're generating, and now you add that to the pages on their site, which is going to help them to rank anyways, right? Because it's adding YouTube videos to the page. It's unique content. You get the transcription service to transcribe the videos, and that's your content. Even if it's only 200 words, a minute-long video, 200 words, that's all you need. And they rank very well, as long as you set up a silo structure for that too. So just keep that in mind. If you silo the site properly, and then like for example, if you silo, and again, this is getting a little bit more advanced, guys, than what we have time for today, but just quickly, if you were to set up, for example, let's just say, let's see, you said Gainesville. Well, Gainesville's in Prince William County. So if you were to set up a Prince William County silo, then you could essentially target Gainesville, Virginia. Gainesville, have a video for Gainesville, a video for Haymarket, a video for Manassas, one for Woodbridge. These are all cities within Prince William County. And if you had a video for each one of those little individual cities and a page, a specific page on the site, from within that page in the content, which would be the transcription of the video, you would link back up to that county page, right, which would be your silo heading. And all of those are going to increase the power of that entire silo, so that every time you add a new video or a new page to that Prince William County silo, it's going to rank easier, because it's going to benefit from all the juice created from all the other pages. Again, that's silo architecture there, but that's using user-generated content. I love that method, because that way you're getting the actual business owners to produce the content for you, and all you got to do is get it transcribed and add it to the page, a little bit of styling, proper link building, and you're there. All right. I hope that was helpful because I know exactly what you mean, man. Dealing with trying to create unique content when you're just saying the same thing over and over again. It's difficult to do, but a video is absolutely unique. Okay, Craig Smith says, in a past, hey Craig, I still didn't get an answer to your question, man. I really feel bad about that from last week. I meant to ask one of my team members to get to it, and I completely did not, and I apologize for that. Hopefully I'll have the question answered for you next time, or I'll message you privately. You say in a past Hangout you mentioned that Brian should redo his post-page slugs and make them shorter. If the old slugs have backlinks, what redirect method should you use? That's a great question. If they have backlinks, all you need to do is use a plugin. If you're using, obviously, if you're using WordPress, and it's called Simple 301 Redirects. Incredibly easy to use. As a matter of fact, we need to wrap this up in just a minute, but let's see if I can go into one of my demo blog that I use all the time to see if I've got that installed there. I think I do, and if so, I'll show you what it looks like and how to use it real quick. It's very easy to use. One more good question on Q&A before we take off. Okay, Adam, thank you. I'll check on that in just a moment. Let me see if I can finish this one for Craig, since I owe him from not answering this question fully last week. This is just a demo site, guys, that I use all the time for these kind of webinars, so it can be abused if needed. Come on, it's on a crappy host, Just Host, which is like subsidiary of Bluehost, and it's a crappy host. So anyways, plugins. Let's go to install plugins, see if it's installed. No, I don't have it installed. Okay, but it's called Simple 301. I'll show you real quick. It'll just take one moment. Simple 301 redirects, and basically you just take the old slug and you redirect to the new one, and it's very easy to do. Simple 301 redirects right there. See, this is why you don't use cheap hosts, you know.
Yeah, nice and fast. I was gonna say too, if we wanted to, we could, or myself, yourself, somebody could record a quick video and put it up later for him.
Well, that's all right. I mean, let's just do it now. It'll just take one more second for it to activate. But guys, this is exactly why you don't use cheap hosts, because they're just a nightmare. Think about if it's annoying to you, think about your visitors. You know what I mean? All right, so go to settings. Once it's activated, you'll see 301 redirects. Click on that. And then all you need to do is you take the old slug. So for example, let me just open this up, and I'll grab one of the page links or post links or whatever. All right, so we'll just say, let's go to the burrito post. But this one, you can see I've got the permalink structure set up as category/post name, right? And let's say that I wanted to change this from burrito to burrito post. Okay, now I know it's the reverse order of what you're saying. You want to shorten slugs. Yeah, I totally think that you want to unoptimize your slugs as much as possible, which is basically your permalink, guys, in case any of you are getting confused on that terminology. But let's say that I just wanted to rename this burrito post, or burritos are good, let's say that. Then what I would do is I would take anything after the root, which includes the first /, I'd copy that, and I'd come back over here and I'd paste that here, and then I would paste the new full URL that I created. So if I went in here and I went into edit post, come on, Just Host, and we're going to change the permalink. Yeah, I know, it's awful. I'm going to have to move this test blog to another host just so we don't have to go through this every time. All right, so if we go to here and go to edit, let's say burritos are good. Click OK. And is burritos with an O-E-S or just O-S? I think it's just O-S.
I think it's just OS.
Like, sorry. All right, so now that that's done, so if we go view the post, and now I want to grab that URL, and we would just go back to Simple 301 redirects, paste that in, click Save Changes, and now if we were to go to just uncategorized /burrito, which I can show you that right here, it's going to redirect to the new URL, and it's also going to redirect. Watch the address bar. You see how it just redirected? All right. So, and that's going to redirect all your juice too. There's a slight drop in juice when you have a 301 redirect, but it's not much. It's very, very small. maybe 15% or something like that. All right, so that's how you do it. Okay, let's see. We're going to have to wrap up here in just a minute, guys, so I'm going to try to answer a couple more questions. Let's see. John D says, thank you. I will do that. Any date set for the strategy webinar? Yeah, it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks. Again, I was going to set it for 2 to 3 weeks after the official launch. So you know what I might have to do for those of you that have already purchased it? I might just have to do 2 of them. Do I have any silo training inside Semantic Mastery membership? Absolutely. Are you kidding? Yeah, a lot. Extensive training on it. Yes. And so, guys, I mean, we ask $147 for the Mastermind membership because, this isn't for, novice SEOs, or, I mean, I guess it can be, but, we're looking for SEO professionals. I don't want to go over a bunch of remedial stuff inside the members area, like over and over and over again, like stuff that's really basic. This is for people that already have an understanding of SEO or that are serious about their business and stop buying shiny objects and want to join and learn how to build a real business. I mean, tools help, guys, but I can tell you I've been caught in the shiny object syndrome cycle myself in the past, and once I stopped doing that, I was able to build a real business, and that's what we teach, is how to build an SEO business, not just finding and chasing tools. Everything promises it's going to make your job easier, and if used properly, they can, but the problem is never giving any one of them enough of a chance to really make an impact on your business, because you end up switching to something else. And that's kind of what we teach, is like to just use the tools that you already have and put it together in an efficient and effective way that you can build a revenue-generating business with. That's what we do at Semantic Mastery as a nutshell. And we buy all the products, and we test a lot of them. And if we find that and once we put them through the test, if we find that they are useful and that we would use them in our own businesses, then we recommend them to you. So instead of throwing a bunch of money away on new products every month, and new training, and a lot of it's garbage, some of it's good, you let us do that for you, and if we find that it's valuable and that it's effective, then we will share that with you guys, and you can make the purchase then. And just that money that we would save you alone and not having to buy products and services and WordPress plugins and everything else it will cover the cost of our membership alone, period. Okay? So anyways, that said, the strategy webinar, guys, yeah, I'm going to hold it. I might just have to, because we're behind schedule, do a small strategy webinar with you guys that have already purchased, and then just do another one once the big surge of new incomers from the official launch, and that might be the case. If you guys want it, just speak up and say it, and I'll do it. It's not a problem. I don't mind doing 2 webinars. You guys will get a little bit better treatment anyways, because it'll be a smaller group. So. Hi, Riley. Thank you for your training. I'm totally new. Let's see. That was jaunty. I guess I answered already. I answered that. So was that it? Adam, did you see anything else in there?
That was it. I believe I'm just scanning right now to make sure, since we got a bunch at the end there.
Alex, I really appreciate that, man.
Looks good.
It says, by far the best group I've found in the SEO industry. Been following these guys for about a month or so, and have seen more rankings and progress than a whole year of digging around the net. Thank you, Alex. That is an absolutely wonderful testimonial, and that just tickles me pink. Thank you very much for that. And guys, that's what I'm talking about. What we teach. I mean, this is not a hard sell. You guys, we do the Hump Day Hangouts every week. I do that because I enjoy it. I like the questions. I like the exposure that it gives us. But really, you want advanced training. That's what we're for. And we try to give you guys as much personalized attention as possible. John asked that, thanks for the answers for local content. The videos could rank as well. Yes, absolutely. In fact, John, that's exactly what happens, is the videos rank before the pages do, but then you'll see it'll actually pull the pages up with it. Like, so the videos will rank usually initially if you target longer tail terms like we teach anyways up front. The videos will rank, and then over the course of 2 weeks or so, you'll see the page start to surface up with it. So you end up taking up 2 spots on page 1 for that search term. And then if you're using our IFTTT networks, a lot of the times the Web 2s will start to surface too, which includes, like, guys, I wonder if I got, damn, I want to show you. There was another example. We just added Evernote back into the IFTTT networks, Evernote, and because it was gone for a while because Evernote had changed their terms of service or whatever for public notebooks, and because there was a huge outcry, they re-included public notebooks again back into Evernote. So we added it back into the IFTTT networks, and Evernotes tend to rank. The public notebooks rank all the time, and it's insane with no additional link building at all. I've got several different sites where right now that for local terms that Evernote is ranked on page 1 along with the videos and other things, you know, the clients' websites as well. So so just to let you know, yeah, absolutely. If you're going to do the video strategy, then using the IFTTT networks, you'll see that the video will rank first. Generally, the Web 2s will start to rank within a few weeks. Some of them will, not all of them, but some of them will. And then you'll also see it start to pull the page up too. So it's a great strategy because, you know, within 30 days or so, you could end up having 3 or 4 spots on page 1, and it's not uncommon to see that. Is my point. Okay. Ken says he would love a strategy training sooner than have to wait another 3 weeks. All right, guys. What we'll do is, I'll tell you what. This is what we're going to do. We're going to contact all of the buyers that have already purchased anyways over the course of the next week or so, and move you guys into the new membership area because we're going to eliminate the one that's currently there. So as we're contacting you, I'll go ahead and set up a date for probably 2 weeks from now, maybe 10 days from now. Yeah, a week to 10 days from now, I'll set up a date, and as we're contacting you guys to move you into the new membership area, we'll send you the invite for the special webinar that I'll hold just for you guys as like early comers. Because yeah, I don't want to make you guys wait. You guys all got in before we were really ready to launch, so I owe that to you guys. So I'll absolutely make sure that I do that. We'll set you guys up with a you know, a smaller group webinar, and then we'll do a big webinar after the initial launch surge. Okay. So I hope that's fair. So anyways, guys, that's it. I got to wrap it up. I've got another webinar to go on. Let's see.
Let's see, a quick one for Rainier. Yeah, these are all available for replay. We'll have it posted fairly shortly. It might not be up by tonight. It takes a while to render, but they are
actually
generally available.
I can get it up in. I'll have it up within an hour. Within
well,
an
I take
hour,
that back then.
Yep.
I usually wait because it seems to take a while to render. But
yeah, no, I'll get it up within an hour. When you do the on-air ones like this, they tend to render faster than if you try to edit them and stuff. So, because remember, this is in my channel, not the Semantic Mastery channel, and I don't know if that has something to do with it, but
interesting. That's right. It'll be available the replay's available at the event page, correct, or is it somewhere else?
Yeah, the replay will be right here on this page, Rainer. Okay. And also, when I set the event up for next week, it'll be on the next week's event page too until we start the broadcast for the next one. So, but I'll have it up within an hour. All right, guys. We will see you all next week, and like I said, I'll get out an invitation to you guys who already have purchased within the next 3 or 4 days. Adam, you're going to be helping me with that, by the way. so we're going to be sending you guys all access to get into the new members area. I think you're going to like it. It's really cool, and it integrates with the IFTTT SEO Academy Facebook group. So that'll give us a discussion forum that you guys can all share ideas, you know, and I'll jump in and answer questions from time to time as well. And so I'll get you access to the new membership platform, and we'll set up a small group webinar for you guys. So by the way, if anybody has not checked it out yet, check it out if you want to be in on that small group webinar. You know, go check out ifttttseo.com and get in now, and you'll get access to that first webinar. That won't be available to everybody else once we go public. So last thing I'm going to read, and I got to wrap it up. Just ranked a video for business renovations in Athens, Greece in top 5 in 5 minutes on first page. That's great, Alex. I mean, you've given us several. You know, I'm going to do some screenshots of these comments and stick them on our sales page if you don't mind. That's fantastic. Just ranked a video in 5 minutes on first page. That's freaking fantastic. So yeah, all right, guys. Go to semanticmastery.com if you want to just subscribe to our list. We're going to start doing more mailings, not spam, not promotional. It's going to be more like, you know, just information and tips and things like that. If you want to check out the IFTTT course, go to ifttttseo.com, and we will see you guys next week at Hump Day Hangouts. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Adam, for your help.
Yeah, have a good one. See you, everybody.